Blake, I told you, girl, the call is coming from inside the fucking house. Pick up. Ryan Reynolds is saying he doesn't to be here. He didn't ask for this. He doesn't have shit to do with it. Than being a supportive spouse who has witnessed firsthand the emotional, reputational, and financial devastation Miss Lively has suffered. So y'all are broke. If y'all are broke, just say that. Just say you can't pay these lawyers. I know it ain't cheap. Paying lawyer fees for 3 months. You truly believe you don't have nothing to do with this? Your lawyer should have dismissed you from this case from get-go. But no, you all thought you were gonna get away with all the crap. Now that it's not looking good for you, you want a little separation. That's your wife. You're gonna stick beside her. That's the bone of your bone, the rib of your rib. That's yours forever and
people. It doesn't seem like the turmoil involving Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni will end anytime soon. Just when we think we've heard the last of it, new findings come to light, making things much more heated than we had expected. Ryan Reynolds has been vocal in his support of his wife because he genuinely believes she is correct. Because he has praised her for standing up for herself when faced with challenges, he is often seen as the perfect husband. However, recent rumors seem to suggest otherwise. A recent video that has gone viral suggests that Blake may have forced Ryan to publicly support her. Some believe she took this action to maintain a positive public image following Justin Baldoni's revelations.
Her attorney said that we should get those by the end of next week. And now, of course, from Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, we heard a little bit about their plan, too. He talked about how they want this case moving forward as quickly as...
Ryan Reynolds, one of Hollywood's most famous actors, is loved by many fans. It seems that Blake wanted to utilize some of that awe to alter how people saw her. Ryan, however, just filed a motion to withdraw from the lawsuit, indicating that he can no longer stand the animosity. Interestingly, he is not attempting to have the lawsuit entirely dismissed. Rather, he is merely attempting to disassociate himself from it. This suggests that he may be growing tired of Blake's pressure. Does this mean Justin Baldoni was never guilty? Has Ryan also been stepping in for Blake? Let's break everything down.
I know why Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds stepped out for the first time since all the drama to the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary. At the end of the day, this is all for PR.
A film with an absolute idiot for co-star, and this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes out, and I think I was so vulnerable and comfortable.
Is Ryan Reynolds...
mean?
Like he's
Canadian.
Look, you punch a couple hundred orphans and suddenly you're mean. This is...
Ryan has been Blake's unwavering ally throughout this litigation, as was previously said. You have no idea how surprised we were to hear that he wanted to leave now. He has filed a motion to withdraw from the lawsuit with the court in addition to expressing a strong desire to do so. In his filing, he claims that the case has nothing to do with him and that Justin should never have brought him into it in the first place. For backstory, Ryan's remarks against Justin in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie prompted him to become engaged in the case.
You know, as seemingly done, right, is used his power and influence to not only help Blake Lively take over this movie, he's used it, you know, on Deadpool to make fun of Justin Baldoni.
Oh, I'm Deadpool. And I guess you're a Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist.
Nice Pool, who made his debut at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine, was made to mock him, according to Justin. He thus brought legal action against Marvel, Disney, and Ryan Reynolds. In a court letter to Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige and Disney CEO Bob Iger, attorney Brian Friedman allegedly accused Reynolds of making a direct joke about Baldoni in the film. Reynolds plays Nice Pool, a Deadpool variant who cynically wonders, where in God's name is the intimacy coordinator? In one scene, Reynolds also remarks on feminism and praises Lady Deadpool for her recovery from childbirth. Baldoni seems to feel that this was a direct attack on him, since he had positioned himself as a feminist during the It Ends With Us advertising. Disney and Marvel are required to save any documents that might indicate a deliberate attempt to utilize the Nice Pool character to humiliate, harass, threaten, or mistreat Baldoni, according to Friedman's letter. The letter also makes references to possible legal claims, including civil extortion and contract interference. However, in his court declaration, Ryan did not explicitly deny making fun of Justin. Instead, he argued that Baldoni's outrage about a fictional character, Nice Pool's satirical woke persona, lacked legal support. According to an insider who spoke on the matter, Baldoni's legal team now plans to do a comprehensive investigation into Deadpool and Wolverine, including the financing of the film and the actors and producers who would have been aware of any purported targeting throughout production. The lawsuit scope is claimed to have been broadened by Reynolds' refusal to deny claims that Baldoni was the idea behind Nice Pool, allowing Baldoni's lawyers to argue that their client was the victim of a coordinated attack. Because Ryan supposedly admitted that the role was based on Justin, he has brought greater attention to Hugh Jackman, the film's producers and directors, and even Disney. However, Ryan is now attempting to have the case dismissed. In his most recent court filing, Reynolds allegedly described himself as a helpful spouse who has directly witnessed Blake Lively's financial, emotional, and reputational hardship. Another insider claims that Ryan believes Baldoni is attempting to make him feel ashamed for being a husband who listens to and supports his wife. Not to be forgotten are Ryan's previous claims that Justin was a predator. Ryan's legal team is standing by the statement and asserting that it is not defamatory because he really believes it to be true. Court documents state, "The first amended complaint alleges no plausible facts suggesting that Mr. Reynolds did not believe his comment to be true. Instead, the relevant allegations indicate that Mr. Reynolds genuinely, perhaps passionately, believes that Mr. Baldoni's behavior is reflective of a predator." The entirety of Mr. Baldoni's case appears to be based on Mr. Reynolds allegedly privately calling Mr. Baldoni a predator. However, that is not defamation unless it can be proven that Mr. Reynolds did not believe the statement to be true. Essentially, Ryan's team argues that because he did not defame Justin, the lawsuit has no merit and should be dismissed. However, Justin's lawyers strongly opposed Ryan's motion, stating, "Mr. Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues, this time arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case despite his publicly documented involvement, which extends far beyond just being a supportive spouse." Mr. Reynolds was a key player in this scheme, defaming Justin across Hollywood, pressuring WME into dropping him as a client, and attempting to destroy his career in any way possible. His fingerprints have been all over this smear campaign against Justin since day one. Now, after lighting the match, Mr. Reynolds wants to run from the flames. It won't work. The claims against him are real and serious. Meanwhile, some fans are also calling out Ryan's attempt to have the case dismissed, with rumors circulating that the only reason he got involved in the first place was that Blake pressured him into it. Many speculate that she believed having her powerful husband back her up would make things easier for her. After all, fans haven't forgotten Blake's text to Justin, in which she allegedly compared herself to Game of Thrones' Khaleesi, writing, "If you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi. And like her, I happen to have a few dragons. For better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you."
Baldoni's lawsuit won't hold up in court. He says him referring to Baldoni as a predator is constitutionally protected opinion. Blake's husband also rips Baldoni's lawsuit as essentially a burned book and claims Justin is trying to shame him for sticking up for his wife. Ryan, I'm still waiting for you to show us one single text message between you and Blake within the time of production that shows her distress, her discomfort, her pain, her suffering, anything. You're telling me your wife was being SH'd at work and you guys did not talk about it in text, in email one time? And I don't want to hear he was on set. He was on set a few times. There were multiple days of production where he was filming Deadpool and she was on set with Justin. You knew this whole time. You've been paying lawyer fees for 3 months.
Well, word on the street is that not even Blake's husband is safe from her alleged bullying. Rumors suggest that she pressures him into doing what she wants, including getting involved in her legal drama, because it helps improve her public image. For those who may not know, this isn't the first time Blake has been accused of being a bully. Reports claim that she was so difficult to work with during the filming of A Simple Favor that one of her assistants ultimately quit. The film's assistant director, Barbara Seaman, recently added her own behind-the-scenes perspective to the controversy. It all started when a Simple Favor star Henry Golding posted about the upcoming sequel, Another Simple Favor. That's when Barbara unexpectedly chimed in, leaving a comment that shocked many. She revealed that she had walked away from the first movie because of how Blake allegedly treated her. And let's be clear, this isn't just random online gossip. Barbara was actually on set. She wrote, "I worked with you on the first one. My experience with everyone was absolutely amazing, except for certain someone who is the reason I quit being an AD. Guess who that person is? I wish you all the best with this, though." Although she later deleted the comment, screenshots of it quickly spread across the internet. After receiving support from fans, she elaborated further, saying, "Thanks for the kindness. I want to avoid attention around this, but I will say she was cruel to many. I know I cried my way home many nights because you try so hard to please someone who is never pleased and puts you down constantly. I can't believe it's actually coming back to her. Karma is real." Barbara isn't the only person to have accused Blake of bullying. Over the years, multiple crew members have shared similar experiences. One crew member who worked on Gossip Girl made a similar claim, stating, "Unfortunately, my experience with Blake was not good. She came across as a bully. When fans wanted to take pictures with them, Leighton Meester was always available, but Blake didn't have the time. With the crew, it was more about the way she spoke to them, like they were toddlers. If she wasn't getting what she wanted, she would make a scene, acting disrespectful and rude. I witnessed how she talked to other people on set, including crew members and other actors, and it just wasn't a good vibe. I'm not trying to bash Blake Lively. I'm just sharing my experience and what I saw. This has nothing to do with Justin Baldoni. This happened in 2010, long before he was involved. But the fact that so many people from different projects and different time periods have similar stories about her, that says a lot." Justin Baldoni's legal team has also claimed to have receipts proving Blake's alleged history of bullying. They have stated, "We are preparing to release evidence showing a pattern of bullying and threats to take over the movie. None of this will come as a surprise, as it aligns with her past behavior." Blake Lively repeatedly used others to communicate threats and manipulate situations to get what she wanted. We have all the receipts and more.
You believe you don't have nothing to do with this? Your lawyer should have dismissed you for this case from get-go. But no, you all thought you were gonna get away with all the crap. Now that it's not looking good for you, you want a little separation. That's your wife. You're gonna stick beside her. That's the bone of your bone, the rib of your rib. That's yours forever and ever. You're going down together. That should be a song. I just want to see the one text message. She texted you saying, "Ryan, today's hard for me. Justin came in my trailer and he looked at me," what I said, with his head full of hair. And yeah, and then I invited him on the jet with us and with me and the kids because I was so scared of him. Show me one text message and I'm Team Blake. But you don't got it. See you in 2026.
And do you recall that SNL joke? I have a question. Oh, hey, Ryan. According to the streets, Ryan was first involved in this incident because—
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Ryan first claimed that the joke was scripted by SNL, but it seems that the show's producers were quick to clarify their stance, distancing themselves from the joke immediately and making it clear that they did not want to be involved in any legal drama. After the SNL show ended, veteran cue card handler Wally Farrison, also known as Cue Card Wally, appeared on the Australian radio show Fifi, Fev and Nick to share behind-the-scenes details from the night. Of course, one of the hosts asked the question that was on everyone's mind. Was Ryan Reynolds' joke planned, or was it really an off-the-cuff remark? Well, let's say Wally left little room for speculation, as his response made it clear that this wasn't as spontaneous in the moment.
Reynolds and Blake Lively have been in the news a lot, and Ryan Reynolds, we want to know, was that an improv or was it scripted, his little piece he did?
That was actually, he had a different line in rehearsal, and he pitched that to replace it. So that was his idea to do it. We wouldn't want to do anything too controversial unless they were in on it. So yeah, that was his line. That was his idea.
Fans weren't even surprised that Ryan would do this at this point. They were just shocked by how desperate he and Blake seemed to be for a PR reset, even if it meant putting someone else under the bus. Yikes. Naturally, Ryan's team wasn't going to let Wally's remarks go unchecked, and they immediately went into damage control mode, ready to push back and correct the narrative, claiming that the opening joke was pitched by SNL and never changed, while the follow-up joke was rewritten during rehearsal. An NBC representative also seemed to support Ryan, saying, "This is not true," while a source close to SNL added that Wally is not part of the writing process or involved in any of those decisions. Justin's lawyer also had some thoughts on the subject, expressing surprise that Ryan would joke about something he had previously claimed was so traumatic for his wife.
Yeah, that seemed like that might be the latest move.
What did you think when you saw, Ryan, make light of the situation? I guess try to find some humor in all this.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation. I can't think of anyone who's done anything like that, and so it surprised me.
Ryan is facing serious backlash for this, and it's no surprise that he would want to distance himself from the drama, especially with reports suggesting he may have been fired by Disney as a result of this controversy. Allegedly, the situation violated Disney's morality clause. Word on the street is that Ryan secured a hefty $30 million paycheck for his role in Deadpool and Wolverine. Sure, the movie went on to make over $1 billion at the box office, so it's not like the studio couldn't afford him. But still, insiders claim that some higher-ups weren't thrilled with his sky-high salary. In fact, some producers had reportedly already been questioning how much he was making. And this isn't the first time his paycheck has raised eyebrows. Let's rewind for a second. Ryan reportedly made around $20 million for the first Deadpool, and by the time the sequel rolled around, that number had nearly doubled. And that's just his upfront fee. Once you factor in his percentage of the profits, his total earnings climbed even higher, solidifying him as one of the highest-paid actors in the industry. While that might sound great for Ryan, it allegedly left some executives feeling uneasy. Now, add in the fact that he's in the middle of this controversy, with claims of him potentially breaking a morality clause in his contract, and yeah, you can see how this might be a problem. The last thing studios want is an actor making that kind of money while bringing them PR nightmares they didn't sign up for. Rumors about him getting fired first started circulating a few days ago when an insider tweeted, "Heard Ryan Reynolds got fired by Marvel for using Deadpool and Wolverine to mock and bully another director. Hope that's true. Finally, no more Green Lantern jokes. Those stopped being funny 10 years ago." To be fair, most people doubted that Ryan would actually get the boot, especially considering how wildly popular his character is. Deadpool is a massive moneymaker, and Ryan is essentially the face of the franchise. But then again, this is Disney we're talking about, and if there's one thing they don't take lightly, it's lawsuits. At the end of the day, Disney has shown time and again that they will drop anyone, no matter how big their name, if they believe that person is jeopardizing the company's image or financial stability. If this drama keeps escalating and turning into a bigger headache for the execs, well, let's just say nobody should feel too secure. With Justin being fired and facing public scrutiny, it's not surprising that Ryan may have decided to step away from the controversy before it spiraled further. Whether it was the bad publicity or the potential Disney fallout that made him take a step back, one thing is clear. He seems eager to move past the drama and return to being one of Hollywood's most beloved actors. However, that doesn't mean the situation is over. While Ryan may be trying to remove himself from the mess, Blake is still facing criticism. Meanwhile, Justin's lawyer had strong words about Ryan's motion for dismissal, stating, "Laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites to fit their own personal agenda." As we said in response to Mr. Reynolds' actions, We will continue to hold Ms. Lively accountable for her acts of pure malice, including falsely accusing my clients of harassment and retaliation. Her fantastical claims will be swiftly debunked as discovery moves forward, easily disproved with actual evidentiary proof. Ryan and Blake are going to have to face the consequences of their actions, and if they expect us to guide them through this properly, then they are going to the hardware store for milk. Yikes. It looks like this situation is far from...
What was the meeting like when you're discussing with Disney the jokes about Disney?
The fun story would be that Disney was just appalled at everything and was never going to let us do anything. But that's on one hand. On the other hand, money. They had a lot of faith in us to deliver and to self-govern. So yes, there's jokes in there that I personally cannot believe they let us.
And in fairness, because we were like the kind of good boy students turning in our script every once in a while, and every time we sent a script, we were like kind of waiting, and the pushback never came, and it became clear that on this movie, funny wins.
Really, there was one joke, one line that they asked me to take out.
When I was on set, I was like, there's no way that's going to be him.
Yeah. I have a joke about Hugh that I couldn't believe he let me say in the movie. So that passes. I was like, wow, he let that.
I'd want to know what you think. So please leave a comment below and don't forget to view this following video. That person might have simply taken on more than he can handle.